This story begins in much the same way as one you're likely familiar with does, with a young green-haired boy learning that not all men are created equal. However, from that point on, everything changes. As Izuku Midoriya lay in the dirt contemplating the sad realization he had come to, a shadow crosses over his face. He looks up and sees a young blonde boy with blue eyes, hand forward offering to pull Izuku up.
"Hey," the boy says. "I'm Jaune."
Izuku accepts the boy's hand and introduces himself.
"I'm Izuku."
As he's pulled up and begins to walk with the boy, Izuku grows curious and asks why he decided to help him. With a shrug, Jaune responds, "Why not?" and states that his mother says strangers are just friends you haven't met yet. Izuku is happy, yet also sad, upon hearing this phrase. He explains how not many people want to be his friend these days. When Jaune asks why that is, Izuku sadly divulges that he doesn't have a quirk. You would not believe the boy's surprise when, in response to his revelation, Jaune asks him,
"What's a quirk?"
You see, dear listener, Jaune Arc is not a normal young lad. Rather, he is the only son of the world's greatest hero, All Might. When he was studying abroad, Toshinori Yagi met and fell in love with a French-American woman with the last name of Arc. Romance blossomed between them, but Toshinori felt conflicted. He did not want to put this woman in harm's way, in the sights of the man known as All for One, especially after he had seen his master give up her own family to protect them. The same master he had recently lost. Eventually, he told his love everything, and she insisted even, that she would stay at his side. After a while, he relented. They returned to Japan and began a family, both agreeing that they would keep it a secret from anyone but their closest allies, and would keep their children, to the best of their abilities, away from anything involving heroes and villains. Of course, that was easier said than done in a superhuman society. Izuku explains that quirks are people's superpowers that they are born with, and that not many people lacked one. Jaune, of course, knew of these superpowers, but hadn't specifically heard the word quirk to describe them.
"Oh,"
Jaune exclaims upon Izuku completing his explanation.
"Then I don't think I have one either."
Izuku was shocked. He hadn't met another quirkless person before. More so, he was happy to have a potential new friend who shared his burden. The two continued to talk, and eventually the topic is brought up of heroes.
"That's what I'm gonna be when I grow up,"
Jaune exclaims. Yes, despite his parents' best efforts, Jaune had learned that the profession of hero existed and, more importantly, that his father was one of them. Izuku is excited to see his new friend share his aspirations, but feels the need to bring up what others have told him.
"People say we can't be heroes 'cause we're quirkless." "Well, that's dumb,"
Jaune exclaims.
"I mean, my dad's a hero and he's just really strong. We could probably get like him by just lifting a bunch of weights."
Izuku is about to ask what hero Jaune's father is, but stops in his tracks at what Jaune says next.
"Besides, even if we're weak alone, maybe we'd be stronger as a team. We can be heroes together."
For a brief moment, Jaune's smiling face is replaced by another that Izuku had seen hundreds of times through a computer screen. Jaune is understandably confused when his new friend starts weeping in joy at someone giving him words of encouragement for his dream. The two later on return to their mothers and ask them to exchange contact information, hoping to stay in touch with one another. They part ways and return to their homes. However, Jaune's time with Izuku sparked a thought in his head. He brings it up at the next family dinner, asking his parents if he has a quirk. His parents freeze in their eating, and Jaune elaborates, being confused since sometimes you can't see someone's quirk. His mother explains that if he inherited her quirk, he'll start to see signs of it in the next year or two, her power being a unique one that could only be discerned after some time. Jaune asks about if he inherited his dad's quirk, and his parents say that is impossible, refusing to elaborate further.
Well, it doesn't really matter,
Jaune says.
Quirk or no quirk, I'm still gonna be a hero. Just like you, Dad.
The silence in response to his statement is deafening. Years go by, and Jaune sees no sign of a quirk awakening within him. Moreover, anytime he brings up becoming a hero, his parents try to steer the conversation in another direction. In particular, they bring up how any profession can do heroic things: doctors, teachers, or even crossing guards. Deep down, Jaune understands what this means, what they think of his dream, but he continues to keep his head up. Then, the day comes. All Might battles All for One. He wins, but at a terrible cost to his own health. While visiting the hospital, his father confined to bed rest by both Recovery Girl and his mother, Jaune faces one of the hardest moments in his life.
Don't worry, Dad. Once I become a hero, I'll be able to be out there with you, to make sure you don't get hurt like this again.
All Might, frustrated by being unable to do hero work and terrified for his son's life if he continues down the path he's on, snaps and angrily tells Jaune that he couldn't be a hero without a quirk. Jaune, flabbergasted and heartbroken, tries to bring up his idea of working together with others to make up for being weak. If you can't protect a single person on your own, what good are you as a hero? All Might responds. But he immediately regrets it, as he realizes what he said and sees the hurt and sadness on his son's face. Jaune runs from the room before he can say anything else. A week passes, and All Might finds himself once again being pestered by his sidekick, Sir Night-Eye, begging him to stop being a hero for the sake of his own life. When All Might brings up the fact that he couldn't do that because he didn't have a successor, Night-Eye responds, "You have a son who wants to be a hero, don't you?" All Might is understandably upset, him having told Night-Eye about his hesitation in letting Jaune pursue heroism, and this begins the breakdown of their relationship. However, he does take the thought into consideration. He hadn't wanted to let Jaune become a hero out of fear of One for All, but One for All wasn't an issue anymore. He himself had seen to that. He makes a decision. Jaune's mother brings him to the hospital at the request of his father. His father apologizes to him for how he acted before, saying he was out of line. He also gives Jaune an offer. Your high school entrance exams will be in 6 years. If you can get yourself into a condition I see as worthy by then, I'll give you a path to becoming a hero. Jaune jumps at the chance, taking it upon himself to train and become stronger. However, the words All Might said to him stuck in his head. If you can't protect a single person on your own, what good are you as a hero? Because of this, Jaune never asks for anyone's help, despite the fact his father would have been able to make a much more effective training regimen for him. Eventually, he comes across an old beach turned into a garbage dump. Thinking about how his father always talked about the importance of helping the community as a hero, he decides to clean the beach as both exercise and community service. However, with nobody there to be with him, he falls victim to a mishap when a pile of junk too heavy for him to lift alone lands on him, trapping him without his phone nearby. Lucky for him, the world is not without its heroes, and his comes in the form of one Izuku Midoriya. Izuku, who had been walking by the beach on his way home, heard someone call for help. He runs to where he heard the sound and is shocked to see his old friend Jaune there. While they had stayed in touch over the years, Jaune had grown distant in the last few, after his father had apparently been hurt fighting a villain. Izuku helps his friend escape from his trap, but notices that Jaune seems despondent. Izuku asks if he is okay, to which Jaune responds no, he isn't. It was bad enough that he had gotten trapped by biting off more than he could chew, but it was even worse, needing someone else to save him. I don't want to be the damsel in distress. I want to be the hero. If I can't even take care of myself now, what good am I?" He falls to the ground as he asks this. For a moment, Izuku doesn't know what to do, what to say to help his friend. After another moment, he responds that Jaune is right, that not all men are created equal, and some people, like the two of them, are just too weak to be the hero of the story. But that's okay. It's okay to be too weak to be the hero. Because as Izuku had learned when they first met, sometimes all you need to do to be a hero is to support someone who had never had support before. Just as Jaune had been the first to encourage Izuku's dream all those years ago, he would be the first to encourage Jaune's now. "We can be heroes! Together!" Izuku reaches out his hand. Jaune, though still battling with his father's words, feels joy spread through him at finally having someone who believes in him. Jaune takes Izuku's hand. More time passes, and Jaune continues his training, this time with Izuku training alongside him for help and encouragement. At the age of 14, 1 year before the UA entrance exams would take place, Jaune goes to his father, believing he is ready and taking him to the beach he and Izuku had cleared. After a few tests, All Might begrudgingly agrees. With a heavy sigh, he plucks a hair from his head and says to Jaune, "Eat this." "What?" All Might takes time to explain one for all to his son, and Jaune is left shocked. He pauses for a moment and asks his father if this power can be given to two people instead of one. When his father responds no, Jaune hesitates, before finally taking the hair and swallowing it, considering to himself whether he should keep the power or pass it on to a certain someone he considered more worthy. Jaune and his father return home later that day, Jaune sporting a completely shattered arm after trying his new power for the first time. Needless to say, they both got into a lot of trouble. Jaune, however, does have a breakthrough with his powers a few months later. While at the breakfast table, contemplating his newest broken limb, which Recovery Girl refused to heal, his sister Saffron speaks up, telling him that he needs to eat his cereal. It's getting all soggy at the bottom, while the top is still completely dry. As Jaune moves around the cereal in his bowl, it hits him. He was a bowl of cereal. And one for all is the milk. If he can circulate the power all around his body, maybe he can control how soggy he gets. Okay, so maybe the metaphor broke down a bit at this point. But to Jaune, it doesn't matter. He stands up and begins channeling his power all around his body. As bolts of electricity begin to run across his skin, he knows that, though it may take some work, he can control the power. And this new ability will help. Jaune grabs the box of pumpkin peats he had poured his cereal from and kisses it, paying no mind to the red-headed girl around his age pictured on the front of the box.
"Pumpkin Pete, you are truly the greatest of heroes."
That night, Jaune finds himself in a strange dream. His vision is blurry, only having sight in one of his eyes, and even that being obstructed by a fuzzy black energy surrounding it. He can only see a single thing, a white-haired, sickly-looking man. "How strange," the man says. "I never thought we'd encounter a power that would affect One for All like this." He smiles warily. "I wonder how you'll use it." Jaune wakes in a cold sweat, and somehow, the exact reason he doesn't know, he understands One for All so much better. He understands that there was more than the stockpiling ability within the quirk. He could almost feel the quirks within, though he knew he wouldn't be able to use them for a very long time, if at all. More importantly, he understood his own quirk, his original quirk. To understand Jaune's quirk, and why he never discovered it before, you must first know the quirk of the Arc family: amplification. This quirk allows its user to amplify the physical and quirk-related abilities to anyone it's applied to, including the user themselves. A simple, if effective, quirk in theory, but its real strength comes in the fact that it is constantly active and, if not being aimed anywhere, will constantly be in effect on itself. So, though it is essentially absent for the first 7 years of its user's life due to starting off so weak, it is constantly increasing its power and expanding its range. Jaune's version of this quirk should have been the most potent incarnation yet, except for a single problem. Jaune's version could only be used to amplify others, not himself. As such, the quirk also couldn't affect itself, meaning it couldn't improve its power or range, making Jaune effectively quirkless. However, the power it should have been using to improve itself didn't just disappear into nowhere. It was stored over the course of 14 years to be released into the first thing the amplification could reach. In this case, One for All, before it was fully recognized as Jaune's quirk. More particularly, the aspect of One for All that came before it was One for All. The power relating to quirk transferal. As Jaune wakes and realizes this, he knows what he has to do. He calls Izuku and tells his groggy friend to get to the beach. When they meet each other, Jaune starts the conversation by activating One for All and making lightning dance across his skin, causing Izuku to fall back onto the ground. Jaune explains his quirk to his friend, how he got it from his father, and what he realized from the dream. Izuku is confused and asks what it all means, why Jaune is telling him this.
I think that I can give you part of this power, if you want it.
Jaune smiles and reaches his hand out to Izuku like he had the day they first met, the sun beginning to rise behind him.
Izuku, we can be heroes. Together.
I forgot to tell you. This isn't the story of someone becoming the greatest hero in the world. This is a story of legacy and friendship. And, most importantly, this is the story of a young man finding strength in his own weakness. Thanks for watching.